things just got a lot more interesting for the Vancouver Canucks with one player standing out in the preseason. Things get interesting heading into the NHL playoffs, but not only that, we get huge Vancouver Canucks prospect updates as they take on their first week in the OHL. Multiple prospects have been standing out, looking like hidden gems in the Canucks system. We're going to break down this one change going into the NHL playoffs, which signifies something big for the Vancouver Canucks. But not only that, we're going to break down all these prospects and exactly why fans should be fired up. We're going to break down all this and so much more later on this episode. Before we get into that, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching this video. And we're trying to reach our goal of 8,500 subscribers. So if you haven't hit the sub button yet, but you want to stay up to date on everything to do around the Vancouver Canucks, not only in the preseason, not only in the regular season, but the playoffs. So once they make it, go down and hit that free subscribe button. It means the world, and in return, we'll give you daily updates from all around the team. Well, with that, let's just hop straight into this. And before we get into the small rule change with a player really standing out in the preseason, helping the Vancouver Canucks, we're going to go straight into a couple prospects that have looked great. Gabe Chiarot goes into his first game with the Brampton Steelheads of the OHL with a game-winning goal, leading them past another Vancouver Canucks prospect between the pipes. Now with Gabe Chiarot, I've been raving about this kid quite a bit. We've seen a very productive season in the OHL last year in 66 games, put in 35 points, but with a bigger role for Gabe Chiarot, things are trending in the right direction, and a goal in his first game, a game-winning goal, a +1, is definitely a huge benefit for the young forward as he looks to make a name for himself and a 6th round pick looking to beat the odds. Now with Gabe Chiarot, there's a lot to like. He has a bit of snarl to his game. He can score goals. He makes a living in front of the net. But the big thing with this as well, we've seen multiple Canucks really stand out. Riley Patterson went out with 2 assists, 6 shots on goal, and a shootout goal last night during his game in the OHL. Now, the big thing with a lot of these Canucks, we did see entry-level contracts sign heading into the season. Riley Patterson, Gabe Chiarot, and Medvedev all get ELC, so they can't really be poached by the NCAA anymore, and the Canucks have a lot of more control around these guys. We see Durbin with a 1 assist and a +2. Gabe Chiarot, 1 goal, a game-winning goal, which did come on Alexei Medvedev. Now with Medvedev, a great prospect. The Canucks took him a little higher than some people expected, having a lot of goaltenders, kind of foreshadowing to what we're going to talk about later in the second round. Medvedev still had a great game, a .920 save percentage in his first start as the starter for the London Knights. Now with the London Knights, a very good team, a great program. And with Medvedev, one of the youngest goaltenders coming out of the past 2025 draft, we're going to see his stock slowly rise as a lot of more eyes are looking at the now starting goaltender instead of being a backup going into the season. Now with Medvedev, it's going to be a bit of a wait. We know goaltenders take some time. This could take as long as 6 years, but with the window the Vancouver Canucks have of Thatcher Demko and Kevin Lankin signed and locked up for the foreseeable future. See Tolopilo looking outstanding. Ty Young in the weeds down in the AHL. This lines up perfectly for the Canucks goaltending to be very good year after year. And just looking at the prospects, I once again want to say this draft staff has done an incredible job. The scouts have done incredible jobs. Everyone in between, what the Canucks have done with their latter half picks have been incredible with their system, and we're just seeing a bright future kind of unfold going into the first week of the OHL as these guys want to make a huge name for himself to make the jump to not only the Canucks but also Abbotsford Canucks in between. Now we're going to get into the second player, but what's your guys' thoughts on all these prospects? Who is the most intriguing and exciting out of the group? Is it someone like Medvedev who's going to be the goaltender of the future? Is it Riley Patterson or someone like Gabe Chiarot that is looking like a hidden gem? Let us know down in the comments. But with that, let's go straight into a player that has been dominating in the preseason, or at least looking incredible. Now we can see Tolopilo has been outstanding. One of the best saves we've seen in the preseason. He has looked great and got multiple games in between the pipes for the Vancouver Canucks, and going into Tolopilo, who's going to get a huge jump in production with the Abbotsford Canucks, as Artur Shilov's the Artie Party is sadly in Pittsburgh, though he's looking very good there, and we love to see the kid play well. But the big thing with Tolopilo is we're going to see him get his flowers, and he's going to take over the starter crease after going on a 8-win streak, I think it was, to end the year last year. Tolopilo, who had a great season, is going to continue to develop. Now, a lot of people might look at this and say, Mark, why does it matter? Tolopilo is not going to be between the pipes with the Vancouver Canucks, but we're going to get into a little report in detail that makes things a lot more interesting. Now we can see this, Tolopilo getting his 3rd straight preseason appearance. It's a nice vote of confidence from the coaching staff. Lots of good experience for him now with the Artie Party size shoes to fill in Abbotsford. Now with Tolopilo once again having an outstanding season with Abbotsford Canucks, going in to win a Calder Trophy with the .902 save percentage. The big thing with Tolopilo is, once again, a big body, 6'6", but this has a bit of implications with the Canucks moving forward. Now, the big thing is Tolopilo got his extension, 2 years at $775K each season, but the big thing is, when going into the playoffs this year, a bit of a rule change does help the Canucks quite a bit. Now, we do know you have to be cap compliant, and before we break down exactly how this helps the Canucks, with them being cap compliant, we seen last year in the finals, the Florida Panther about $7 million over the cap. I think it was $93 million. During the finals run, with the cap being 88, we know you have to be compliant with this new CBA rule coming through, but that doesn't mean you can still have a lot of new players in your lineup if you scratch the right people. Now, with the new CBA playoff counting rule states that team must list 18 skaters and 2 goaltenders on its playing roster for each playoff game. What they do to stipulate is which players they have to be. For example, a team with 2 goaltenders making a lot of money could now dress a cheaper backup in the playoff games and free up that excess salary to be allocated to other players. Now with this, Tolopilo is not going to come in and start a game for the Canucks in the playoffs unless all things go right for the goaltender. But the big thing is, if the Canucks go into game 1 of the playoffs wanting to add another player worth 4.5, which is exactly what Kevin Lankinen is making, then you can put Tolopilo in as your backup goaltender. He won't be out of place, especially if his play continues to get better. And listen, you don't want to drag him out of Abbotsford to play with the big club, but if you're going on a bit of a run, this does help a lot. Now, the Canucks have a couple options. You could call up Patera, which I'm still surprised is still with the group. You have someone like Ty Young that can join the team. These 3 goaltenders with the new rule change makes things a lot more interesting for the Canucks moving forward. Looking at the group, if you're heading into game 1 of the playoffs, and listen, this is mix and match lines, this is going to change. They're going to make trades. But the big thing is, with a lineup, if you're running all your skaters and you want to put someone like Kevin Lankinen, and God help you move Thatcher Demko to the press box for a playoff game, but one of these guys moved to the playoff box, this gives you 4.5 to add a new forward for game 1 of the playoffs. You have 2 healthy goaltenders that you can rotate through, and you also have a young guy like Tolopilo that can come in as a backup, save you cap space, and if he has to go in, we've seen and he's demonstrated that he can be talent in the NHL. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? What's your thoughts on all these prospects standing out? Who is your favorite Canucks prospect? Is it Jonathan Lekmek? And listen, he has looked outstanding. Is it Coots scoring his first unofficial goal with the Vancouver Canucks? Is it anyone else? Let us know down in the comments. And what's your thoughts on Tolopilo and this little loophole that's going to help the Vancouver Canucks, especially when Thatcher Demko's $8.5 million hits the books starting next season? Let us know down in the comments. And speaking on comments, let's go straight into comment day. And listen, Tolopilo has been a quite positive for the club. He is definitely the AHL starter and probably the 3rd goaltender in this system. Plus, if Lekmek can play this up, he can get into the top 6 out of camp, especially since Höglander is out for a while. And this is the big thing. The Canucks have a lot of guys that are pushing for this camp spot. We've seen Patrik Allvin say himself, there's a lot of players that wanted to sign a PTO with the Canucks, but they wanted to give the young players of Abbotsford the chance to break through. And this is something outstanding to see after winning a Calder Cup and management giving these young guys the credit they deserve. But let us know all your thoughts down in the comments. You could be featured on comments of the day if you want to go down and leave any thoughts on what we should do going into the season. Listen, we have a lot planned going into the year, so go down and leave a thought. Live streams are coming soon, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark Bye. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and take care, Canucks fans. Enjoy your weekend, and Canucks hockey is around the corner.